Snow whipped across the narrow streets of Valor, a colony world perched on the edge of a frozen wasteland. The wind cut through thick coats like knives, and even the street lamps struggled to stay lit under the storm's fury. Most people had fled to the safety of heated buildings, but 9-year-old Leo ran between the alleys, his small boots crunching in fresh snow. He was searching, though he wasn't sure for what. His breath came in short, visible bursts, and the storm clawed at his hair and clothes. Then he heard it, a faint, desperate whine, almost buried beneath the roar of the blizzard. Leo froze, straining to locate the sound. Between two collapsed market stalls, half buried in snow, a small shape trembled. As he got closer, his eyes widened. It was a creature he had never seen before. Its body was tiny, covered in crystalline scales that shimmered like frosted glass. Its ears were long and pointed, twitching uncontrollably. Tiny wings pressed against its sides shivered violently, and its golden eyes, wide with fear, locked onto his. The creature looked more like a dragon than a cat, yet its mewling tone carried the plaintive helplessness of a pet. The first thought that struck Leo was simple: it was freezing. Its body was stiff, its breath shallow, and icicles hung from its whiskers. The storm wasn't just dangerous, it was lethal. Without a second thought, Leo kicked off his backpack and tugged at his coat. The fabric was thin for the cold, but it was better than leaving the creature to die. He knelt beside the trembling beast and wrapped it gently, holding it close to his chest. Immediately, the warmth from his body seeped into the small scales, and the creature let out a soft purr, a strange vibrating sound that resonated almost magically. Leo smiled, heart racing. "Don't worry. I won't let them hurt you." He didn't know who they were yet, but the sense of danger lingered in the air. Something about the creature felt important, as if it didn't belong just to this world. A sudden gust of wind threw a sheet of ice across the alley. Leo stumbled backward, shielding the creature with his body. Snow and frost blurred his vision, and when it cleared, he noticed movement at the far end of the street. Figures, humanoid but not quite human. Their armor glimmered under the storm, patterned with strange symbols that pulsed faintly in the dim light. Leo's stomach tightened. He didn't know their purpose, but the way they moved, silent, deliberate, and scanning, felt like a hunt. He held the creature closer, instinct screaming at him to hide. He ducked behind a frozen cart, peeking over the edge. The leader's eyes, a sharp, calculating amber, seemed to sweep the street, and then for a moment the gaze locked onto him. The creature stiffened in Leo's arms, its wings fluttering in alarm. Its scales glowed briefly, reflecting the symbols on the alien armor. Leo's pulse jumped. Was the creature reacting to them or warning him? His mind raced for a plan. The blizzard made every step treacherous. Ice underfoot could snap, sending him plunging into a frozen canal. But leaving the creature here wasn't an option. Leo took a deep breath and inched toward a small doorway carved into the alley wall. It was just wide enough for the two of them to squeeze inside, a forgotten storage nook that smelled of cold metal and dust. Once inside, he pressed the creature against his chest again. Its golden eyes blinked slowly, and Leo realized it was staring at him almost knowingly, like it understood that he had saved it. A warmth spread through his chest, a tiny victory, but it was short-lived. Outside, a loud hum began to vibrate through the frozen streets, low and rhythmic, growing louder with each passing second. Leo pressed the creature's head close to his shoulder as a strange device, half buried in snow outside, activated. Light shot upward in sharp beams, revealing hidden markings on the alley walls that shimmered with alien writing. The symbols matched those on the approaching figure's armor. The creature let out a soft, urgent chirp. Leo's heart raced. He didn't know what it meant, but instinct told him it was a warning. Whoever or whatever was out there had noticed them. The hum swelled into a sharp, vibrating tone, echoing through the alley, shaking loose flakes of ice. Leo gritted his teeth. He had saved the creature, yes, but now the danger was closer, smarter, and watching. The warmth of his coat no longer felt enough to protect them. The golden eyes of the dragon cat narrowed, almost like it was readying itself. Leo's fingers tightened around it, knuckles white as he whispered, "We have to move. Now." And then the hum shifted, sharper this time, and a shadow passed across the doorway. Leo froze. Something big, something moving with purpose, was just outside, and it wasn't alone. The creature stiffened further, its tiny claws scratching at his coat. Leo realized with a jolt that whatever was out there wasn't just searching for him. It was searching for the dragon cat. And in that instant he understood, this was only the beginning. Leo's heart hammered in his chest. The shadow outside the doorway shifted again, sharper and faster this time. He pressed the dragon cat closer, feeling its tiny wings twitch under his hands. Its golden eyes glowed faintly, scanning the doorway like it could sense the danger lurking beyond human perception. Leo didn't understand how it could see what he couldn't, but instinct told him it was ready to act if needed. The hum outside grew louder, vibrating through the metal walls of the nook. Leo realized the device in the snow was a tracker of some kind, designed to locate the creature. His small mind raced. He didn't have weapons and the blizzard would make any escape treacherous. But one thing he did have, his courage and his wits. He peered through a narrow crack in the doorway. The armored figures were moving with precision, scanning the alley systematically. Their leader, taller than the rest, the amber eyes sharp and calculating, paused as if sensing something. Leo felt the weight of their scrutiny. One wrong move and they would find him and the dragon cat. "Okay," he whispered to the creature, "we need a plan." The dragon cat blinked slowly, almost as if it understood. Its body shimmered faintly, scales reflecting the dim light from outside. Leo realized it wasn't just a small animal, it was intelligent, perhaps even powerful. But he couldn't rely on that alone. He had to act. He scanned the nook for anything useful. A broken metal crate, a loose pipe, a torn piece of cloth, anything he could use to create a distraction. His eyes landed on a small discarded snow flare, half buried under dust. If he could ignite it and toss it far enough, it might draw the aliens away long enough for them to escape. Leo grabbed the flare and tied it to a piece of string he found in the corner. He tested the throw mentally, calculating distance, wind, and timing. Then, with his heart pounding, he took a deep breath and hurled it toward the far end of the alley. The flare ignited with a bright, crackling light and flew through the air, landing with a hiss in a heap of snow. Immediately the aliens shifted. Heads turned toward the sudden illumination, and their scanning pattern broke for a fraction of a second. "Now," Leo whispered. He scooped up the dragon cat and sprinted toward a narrow gap between two buildings. Snow whipped in his face, but he ran with determination, ignoring the sting. The creature's warmth pressed against him and its purring, or was it a chirp, felt like encouragement. The alley twisted sharply, and Leo skidded on ice, barely keeping his balance. The aliens shouted orders behind him, but they were slowed by the blizzard. Leo's small size and quick thinking gave him a crucial advantage. He ducked under a fallen scaffold, pressed against the wall, and waited. The dragon cat hissed, a small, fierce sound. Leo froze. From above, a shard of ice cracked and a chunk fell directly toward them. Without thinking, Leo shielded the creature with his body. Pain shot through his shoulder as he tumbled onto the snow-covered ground, but the dragon cat was unharmed. Its scales glimmered brighter now, as if it had drawn strength from his act of protection. Leo scrambled to his feet, clutching the dragon cat. He noticed that the symbols on the alien armor pulsed faintly in response to the creature's glow. His mind raced. Was the dragon cat some kind of key? Something the aliens needed? That would explain why they were hunting it so relentlessly. They reached a wider street where the blizzard was even fiercer. Leo's lungs burned, but he kept moving, knowing that stopping meant capture, or worse. Ahead, he saw the faint outlines of a transport hovercraft, abandoned in the snow. The timing was risky. The storm could tip it or the aliens might notice. But it was their only chance. Leo climbed inside, panting. The dragon cat nestled against his chest, wings tucked close. He found the control panel, old, dusty, and partially frozen. But to his amazement, it still hummed faintly. Leo's fingers moved over the buttons instinctively. He didn't know this technology, yet somehow he understood the basics. A lift, a thrust, a way to get out of the storm. The aliens had noticed them. Shouts rang through the alley and snow sprayed as boots slid across ice. Leo pressed a lever and the hovercraft shuddered to life, its engines whining against the blizzard. The craft lifted unevenly, rocking dangerously, but it moved. For a moment relief surged through him. They were airborne. Then a shadow fell across the windshield, a massive silhouette, larger than any alien soldier he had seen. The creature's form was dark against the blizzard, and its eyes glowed red. Leo's stomach dropped. The pursuit wasn't over, the danger had just grown. The dragon cat hissed again, more urgently this time. Leo felt it shift slightly, its scales emitting a brighter glow. Whatever this was, it wasn't just a passive passenger. It had its own strength and perhaps a secret power waiting to be revealed. Leo gritted his teeth. He had saved it once and he would save it again. Whatever came next, he would not let it fall into the wrong hands. But the shadow outside made him realize that the storm was no longer the only threat. Someone, or something, was hunting them, and they were closer than he had imagined. The hovercraft jolted violently as a sharp beam of light sliced across the snow ahead, targeting them. Leo's fingers froze on the controls for a heartbeat. The dragon cat let out a sharp chirp, almost like a command. In that instant, Leo knew they had to act, and fast. The storm roared, the aliens pursued, and the mysterious creature in his arms pulsed with an inner light. The narrow escape had bought them moments, but the real danger was waiting ahead. And as the hovercraft lurched upward, a loud alien voice echoed across the storm. "Stop the human. Return the creature. Do not fail." Leo's pulse doubled. He looked down at the dragon cat. Its eyes gleamed knowingly, almost as if it understood the warning. The chase had only just begun. The hovercraft shuddered violently, buffeted by the blizzard and the relentless pursuit behind them. Leo's small hands gripped the control panel as he leaned forward, trying to keep the craft steady. The dragon cat pressed itself close to his chest, its golden eyes flashing, almost as if it could see through the storm and into the intentions of the world outside. Leo didn't understand how it did that, but he trusted it instinctively. The alien pursuers were fast, gliding across the ice on sleek hoverboards that cut through the blizzard like knives. Leo glanced over his shoulder. The leader, the one with amber eyes and glowing symbols on his armor, was closer than he expected. His mechanical tracker, likely tied to the strange hum from the device outside, blinked aggressively, signaling imminent danger. Leo's mind raced. They couldn't outrun them forever. He needed a plan, and fast. That's when the dragon cat twitched, its small body shivering not from cold but from urgency. Its scales pulsed brightly, casting flickering light inside the cramped cockpit. Leo's eyes widened. It was reacting to something he couldn't yet see. Then he noticed it, faint patterns glowing along the dragon cat's scales. Thin, intricate lines forming shapes that matched the symbols on the alien leader's armor. A shock ran through him. It's connected to them. Somehow they're linked. The realization hit him like a punch. The creature wasn't just prey, it was a key. And the aliens weren't after it randomly, they needed it. "Okay," Leo whispered, trying to steady his shaking hands. "We need to hide, or at least confuse them." He remembered the narrow canyon they had passed earlier. The walls were high and jagged, filled with twists and shadows. If he could maneuver the hovercraft there, the storm might provide cover, and the alien sensors could be thrown off. He angled the craft toward the canyon, barely clearing a jagged ice spire. The dragon cat hissed sharply, wings twitching. Its scales flared, illuminating the icy walls. Leo realized it was signaling him, like it knew the safe path, guiding him through danger. He followed instinctively, swerving through the narrow gaps, scraping ice along the hull, heart hammering in his chest. As they neared the canyon's midpoint, the leader's ship materialized over the edge of a ridge, glowing with the same amber symbols. Its sensors locked onto them. Leo felt a surge of fear, but the dragon cat chirped again, a sharp, commanding sound. Its small claws scratched at his coat, almost impatiently, urging him forward. Suddenly, a hidden alcove in the canyon walls revealed itself, faint outlines glowing under the storm. Leo steered the hovercraft inside. The alcove was a forgotten chamber carved into the ice, its walls covered in the same symbols as the dragon cat and the alien armor. A low hum thrummed through the air. Leo froze. The dragon cat's wings flared wide, and its body pressed against his chest, scales glowing brighter than ever. It let out a sound, half chirp, half growl, that resonated through the chamber. The hum in the alcove responded, vibrating in harmony. Leo's mind spun. This is more than a hiding place. It's a power source, or a message. He knelt, careful not to disturb the creature, and noticed that some symbols on the walls formed a map. Faint lines connected distant stars and planets, and one line pulsed directly in rhythm with the dragon cat's glowing scales. The creature wasn't just being hunted, it was the key to something the aliens couldn't reach on their own. Leo's heart raced. If they catch the dragon cat, they could control this, or worse, erase it. He had to act, but the hovercraft was too exposed. Then an idea struck him. He could use the alcove's hum to mask their energy signature. He flipped switches inside the cockpit, letting the vessel's sensors harmonize with the vibrations. The dragon cat's scales flared in response. Leo's fingers danced over controls he barely understood, but the alignment worked. The chamber swallowed their energy footprint, and the pursuing aliens faltered. The alien leader shouted orders, his voice crackling through comms. "They've entered the relic chamber. They cannot escape." But Leo could see the sensors flicker, confused by the resonance. The blizzard outside, combined with the dragon cat's unearthly glow, gave them a crucial advantage. Leo's chest heaved as he realized they had survived the immediate danger. The dragon cat pressed closer, chirping softly as if approving his plan. For a brief moment, relief flooded through him. The alcove offered temporary safety, and he had uncovered the first clue to the creature's mystery. But relief was short-lived. The alien leader's voice came again, sharper this time. "Activate the retrieval protocol. The human must not escape." The alcove trembled. Faint cracks ran along the icy walls. Leo's pulse spiked. He realized that whatever lay within this chamber was powerful and unstable. The dragon cat's scales flared violently, responding to the vibrations. It wasn't just a signal, it was a warning. Leo gritted his teeth. They were safe for now, but the danger had changed form. It wasn't just about escape anymore. The chamber, the creature, and the aliens were all connected in a puzzle he had only begun to understand. One wrong move could destroy them both, or reveal the dragon cat's secret to the wrong hands. He looked down at the small creature nestled against his chest. Its golden eyes blinked slowly, knowingly. Leo swallowed hard. "Whatever you are, whatever they want, we'll face it together." A low rumble shook the floor beneath them. Ice splintered near the entrance. Leo's eyes snapped toward the doorway. The alien leader had adapted, finding a new way inside. The shadows of the pursuers crept in, merging with the storm's fury. The dragon cat hissed sharply, wings flaring, scales glowing brighter than ever, almost like a beacon. Leo's heart sank and soared at the same time. The next move would determine not just their survival, but the secret that could change everything. The first pieces of the puzzle had fallen into place, but the rest was still hidden, dangerous, and alive. The chamber trembled violently as ice cracked beneath the alien leader's boots. Leo pressed the dragon cat tightly against his chest. Its wings fluttered, scales glowing so bright that the entire alcove was bathed in a golden shimmer. He could feel its pulse against him, fast and urgent. Whatever power the creature held, it was awakening now. The aliens moved with precision, advancing through the alcove, weapons humming with energy. The leader's amber eyes blazed, reflecting both anger and calculation. "Step aside, human," he commanded. "You cannot stop what belongs to us." Leo swallowed hard, his chest tight with fear, but he refused to yield. He had no weapons, no backup, only courage, his wits, and the creature he had promised to protect. He tightened his grip. "I don't know what you want, but you're not taking it," he said, voice shaking but firm. The dragon cat chirped sharply, wings flaring. Its scales pulsed faster, sending sparks of light across the icy walls. The aliens hesitated, their sensors flickering erratically. Leo's heart pounded. The creature wasn't helpless, it was powerful. And it trusted him. A piece of ice suddenly fell from the ceiling. The leader's attention shifted for a split second, and Leo acted. He leapt to a nearby panel of controls inside the hovercraft they had dragged into the chamber. With trembling fingers, he flipped switches and buttons, improvising with the alien technology and the chamber's energy resonance. The floor hummed, and the chamber began to vibrate in response. Ice shards rose and fell like a living storm inside the alcove. The alien soldiers stumbled, struggling to maintain their footing. Leo felt a surge of hope. They could use the environment against their pursuers. "Hold on," he shouted to the dragon cat. The creature chirped, claws digging into his coat, wings pressing tight. Together they became a single force, radiating light and warmth through the icy darkness. The leader roared in frustration. He lunged forward, but a sudden pulse of energy from the chamber stopped him. Ice shards shot upward, spinning like jagged fans, forcing him back. Leo realized that the dragon cat was channeling the chamber's resonance through its scales. Its body had become a living conductor of power. Leo gritted his teeth. They couldn't just rely on luck. They needed a real escape. He scanned the chamber. An exit at the far side led into a narrow gorge that opened to the frozen city beyond. The drop was high, but it was their only chance. He bolted toward it, dragon cat in arms, sliding across slick ice as shards ricocheted around them. The leader recovered and fired a pulse toward them. Leo twisted, narrowly avoiding it, the beam slicing through the ice behind him. The dragon cat let out a fierce hiss, and its scales blazed brighter, sending the energy back in a dazzling arc that struck the alien's weapon, short-circuiting it. Sparks erupted, and the beam collapsed harmlessly into the floor. Leo's mind raced. Every step had to count. He adjusted his grip, ducking under falling ice and leaping across gaps in the chamber. The dragon cat chirped guidance again, almost as if it could see a safe path. Leo followed instinctively, trusting the creature's intelligence as much as his own. At the exit, the blizzard outside roared, whipping snow and ice into a white wall. Leo hesitated. The drop was lethal. But the alien leader was advancing. There was no choice. He sprinted, leapt from the chamber ledge and felt the air rush past him. The dragon cat's wings beat frantically, glowing like molten gold, slowing their fall. They hit the snow below hard. Leo winced, wind knocked out of him, but the creature had softened the impact. The glow from its scales lit the immediate area, revealing a temporary path through the blizzard. The aliens froze at the chamber's exit, momentarily disoriented by the sudden brilliance. Leo scrambled to his feet. The dragon cat chirped again, almost commanding, and the ice beneath the aliens' feet began to shift. Cracks spread rapidly, forming barriers and slowing their pursuit. Leo realized the dragon cat was manipulating the environment, turning the chamber and the frozen landscape into a defense. But the leader wasn't finished. He activated a hovering device, larger and more menacing than before. Its energy beams cut through the storm, heading straight for them. Leo's heart raced. They were almost out, but this final threat could end everything. The dragon cat's eyes locked onto Leo. For the first time, it chirped softly and pressed its small face against his chest, wings glowing fully. Then it let out a loud, resonating roar-like sound, sending a pulse of energy through the snow and air. The storm seemed to pause. The leader's device faltered, sputtered, and crashed into a wall, immobilized. Leo gasped, clutching the creature, feeling both fear and exhilaration. The impossible had happened. They had survived. The aliens were stalled, the blizzard offered cover, and the dragon cat had proven it was far more than a helpless animal. For a heartbeat, Leo allowed himself to breathe, but the realization struck him immediately. The dragon cat's power was incredible, but it was only the beginning. The patterns on its scales, the way it had activated the chamber, the alien's obsession, all of it pointed to something far bigger. Something the galaxy had never seen before. Leo looked down at the small creature nestled against his chest. Its golden eyes blinked slowly, knowingly. It had survived because he acted, because he chose courage over fear, because he refused to give up. The world had just witnessed the courage of one small human boy. But beyond the roaring wind and broken ice, the alien leader's voice echoed faintly through a damaged comlink. "This isn't over, human. The key is still ours. You will not hold it for long." Leo felt a shiver, not from cold, but from the realization that the battle was over only for now. The dragon cat's secret had been protected, but someone somewhere was already planning their next move. He tightened his grip, looking toward the frozen horizon. The blizzard hid paths, dangers, and mysteries beyond his comprehension, but he knew one thing clearly: he would face them all. Because humans could shine even in impossible odds. And somewhere deep in the storm, a faint glow appeared on the horizon, another sign that their journey was far from over. The storm had softened by morning, leaving the frozen city coated in a silver sheen. Leo's breath came in sharp puffs, and his small hands were stiff from gripping the dragon cat, but relief and exhaustion mixed with exhilaration. They had survived the night, against odds that seemed impossible. The dragon cat's golden eyes blinked at him calmly, wings folded now, its body warm and almost purring against his chest. Leo smiled, a rare, tired smile, feeling the first true sense of accomplishment. He had acted when it mattered, thought when there was no guide, and faced danger far beyond his years. "We did it," he whispered, though the words sounded fragile against the vast silence of the frozen streets. The dragon cat tilted its head as if acknowledging him, and Leo felt a strange bond, the understanding that together they had altered the course of events. But there was no time to linger. The storm's aftermath revealed new dangers. The alien leader's forces had been delayed but not destroyed. Tracks in the snow showed that a search party had already begun moving toward the city's outskirts. Leo's sharp eyes noticed their patterns. They were hunting systematically, using sensors and strategy. He took a deep breath. "We need to get somewhere safe," he said, scanning the horizon. The dragon cat chirped, and Leo followed its subtle guidance toward a partially collapsed observatory perched on the edge of a frozen cliff. It was a small structure, abandoned long ago but sturdy. The dragon cat moved with precision, leading him through narrow alleys and across icy bridges that he might have missed on his own. Inside the observatory, Leo set the dragon cat down. It immediately climbed onto a platform, golden eyes scanning the city below. He could see the soft glow of its scales reflecting off the walls. Somehow, it understood more than he ever could, and yet it waited for him to act, to make choices. Leo wiped snow and sweat from his forehead. "I don't know what you are," he said softly, "but I do know that whatever they want from you, I won't let them have it." The dragon cat chirped again, almost like a sigh, curling its tail around its small body. Minutes passed in tense silence. Then Leo noticed subtle movements along the horizon, small shadows moving across the snow, searching, scanning. He clenched his fists. He had kept the creature safe, yes, but the aliens were clever, persistent, and powerful. They would not give up easily. He scanned the observatory's control panel and noticed the remaining sensors were still active. With careful adjustments, he managed to mask the dragon cat's energy signature, using the observatory's ancient systems to create false signals across the frozen city. Small holographic decoys flickered across the icy streets, confusing potential trackers. Leo felt a surge of triumph. His human ingenuity, combined with the dragon cat's power, had bought them time. "Time," he murmured, "that's all we need." The dragon cat leapt onto his shoulder, chirping sharply. It was as if it sensed the shift in the environment and the temporary safety they had carved out. Leo smiled faintly. He didn't fully understand the creature, but he understood responsibility, courage, and determination, and that was enough. Hours later, the sky cleared, revealing the faint glow of twin suns peeking above the horizon. The world seemed calm again, almost deceptively peaceful. Leo looked at the dragon cat, whose scales now shimmered softly in the daylight, reflecting the icy terrain in rainbow colors. He realized that the danger wasn't over, but the moment of calm was a reward. They had survived. They had acted. They had won this battle. And yet, a nagging thought lingered. Why was the alien leader so obsessed with the creature? Why did its scales resonate with the chamber's energy? And most importantly, what secret did it hold that could shake the galaxy? Leo's gaze shifted toward the horizon where the storm had left faint trails of glowing symbols in the ice. He felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was not just about survival anymore. It was about discovery, understanding, and protecting something bigger than himself. Something extraordinary. He crouched beside the dragon cat. "We'll figure it out," he whispered. "Together." Its wings twitched, brushing lightly against his cheek, a silent promise that it understood. Leo realized that courage wasn't just about fighting, it was about protecting, persevering, and making choices when the stakes were impossible. The city below was quiet now, but faint flashes of movement at the edges of the horizon reminded him that the aliens were still out there. Their pursuit would come again, and this time the stakes might be even higher. Leo's heart surged with determination. Humans had survived before against impossible odds. They could do it again. And he, a little boy, had just proven that courage, intelligence, and compassion could outshine any threat. From the observatory he looked up at the sky. The twin suns reflected off the dragon cat's scales, casting long shadows across the frozen city. Somewhere, deep in the storm-ravaged lands beyond, a faint glow pulsed. Another secret waiting, another challenge lurking. Leo's fingers brushed the dragon cat's shimmering scales. "We've survived this, but I can feel it. There's more out there. And when it comes, we'll be ready." The dragon cat chirped, wings flaring lightly, a tiny pulse of golden light flashing in rhythm with Leo's heartbeat. It was a quiet promise of adventure, danger, and discovery yet to come. And far across the frozen horizon, faint signals, the same energy pulses that had drawn the alien leader, stirred in response. The galaxy had not finished testing humans yet. Leo straightened, gripping the dragon cat, determination shining in his eyes. Whatever came next, he would face it. Humans could shine where no one else could, and courage could tip the balance of worlds. The adventure was far from over. And Leo knew deep down that the frozen dragon cat was only the beginning.